Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our Global TV Deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it break a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make a man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear now hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rob and cheat, and not first and four. Make out what I seen him. Make him a throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! Make him a throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. So, my favorite part, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the day them can sell out Rasta and sell it out. I sell out Babylon. They give man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead can sell out Rasta and sell out. I sell out Babylon. Yes, stop on the price. You might throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing. You might throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one. Big man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling a man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
Stibbidim day, stibbidim day, stibbidim day. We in Global TV says certain kind of friend we no keep, and some informer friend we love like we in Global. Bona fake friend and bona tape. We in Global. We not promote them, we not support them. Look at them and she come here represent for. We in Global TV. Check it.
Good morning and welcome to A Clean Heart and a Clear Conscience. Don't know if our politicians can really say that. But the truth is, me already feel drunk. The heat. I normally get drunk by the heat. So if you hear me start talk out of my sense today, want to know it's the drunkenness. Good morning and welcome to Global TV. Welcome to a new working slaved week. I hope you all had a restful and enjoyable weekend, rejuvenated to start another week. Of course, this morning we're broadcasting as usual, on YouTube, on TikTok. You know our 3 YouTube channels, Producer Wayne Global TV, Global TV Studios, and GTV Group. As well as we're on TikTok this morning on Producer Wayne Global TV, as well as we are co-hosting on the Advanced Potential TV as well. Good morning and welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. To my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls. Good morning and welcome, one and all. Thank you all for joining us. Don Mel, good morning. Sharon Bernard, good morning. RJ, Debbie Jervis TV, Beat and Teach, good morning, all and welcome. Thank you all for joining us this morning. Publish the list. Can you type it in the chat, please? Publish the list or publish the register. And we come to politicians this morning. This morning is a morning of ministerial allergy. It's Tina time. Good morning. Sophia Hall, Jamrock 8766, Gloria Morris, Barbara Simpson, Raymond G, Verona Lewin, good morning. Rosemary Samuels, good morning. Let me see who is on the tick. We have a lot of ministers to address this morning. Come on, TikTok, what's wrong with you? Debbie Jervis TV, Colleen, Sexy K, Wilmot, Donette, Blake, Diane, Homeboy, Sinclair, Hope, Wayne Williams, Savitari, Asa, let me mash up your name. Baker Messina Hemmings, good morning, and welcome. Oh boy, where do we start this morning? I'm going to be copyrighted for the doctor this morning. So might as well we talk to the doctor first. And I've got a question to ask the doctor. Which doctor? Of course, Dr. Tufton. I am aware this morning that there are young people who watch my show, drunk as I am this morning. I will try to keep it normal by the questions I want to ask the doctor. And here are the questions. Provide me a little bit of latitude, nifty friend morning, to ask the doctor, Dr. Tufton, how stiff, flexible, long, or strong is your tongue, Dr. Tufton? Why am I asking you that question? The question is, how long, stiff, flexible, or strong is the tongue of the doctor? You may say, that's a silly question. Monday morning, we get up and have with tea, and him want to know about the doctor's tongue. Of course, Joan Bailey, I would want to know about the doctor's tongue. And if the doctor is confused as to why I'm asking him such questions about his tongue, let us show the doctor why that question is relevant. Barring tongue, doctor. The reason why I'm asking the question, doctor, dear Jesus, bridle my tongue this morning. Barring tongue, doctor. Barring tongue. What sort of enjoyment would you provide? I mean, you're front flat like iron board. I mean, you're stiff like park nut tree. That is why, doctor, I'm asking how stiff, long, strong, or flexible is your tongue? Because barring tongue, doctor, I don't see where it is going. I really don't see where it is going. Dr. Tufton. Dr. Tufton, barring tongue. And I don't need to say more than that. You understand well. Nadine Shields. Nadine Shields. No, sir. Boy, even too much chang. Nadine Shields. People like my grandma would have said, boy, fear consecution chang. Nadine Shields. Nadine Shields. You used to give him bun? I'm just asking. Me stupid like that? If a question pop up, beat and teach, welcome to TikTok, wagwan. Me just feel say no question, no stupid, Dr. Tufton. But if a stupid question pop up in my head, me have to ask, Nadine used to give you bun? Barring tongue, Dr. Tufton. Barring tongue. Jesus have mercy, my God, when I think there was something going on the Babs' clothes. So, all right, let me ask Dr. Tufton, left your personal life aside. Let's look at your marketing life, doctor. You mean to say all your run up and down, fit, healthy, wellness, and you still can't move? You still nail up. You still nail up with nail and rusty board? So what you tell we if you go exercise for? If you still exercise and you're so stiff. Anyway, make we move on. Because I know them we come here to this morning. We come here to Andrew Holness in particular. Come and see the stray dog, an anchor. Me see the stray dog, an anchor around the community. Stray dog are you may come to this morning. But before we go to the stray dog, We're going to go to BRED bread. And BRED bread, we come for him and Andrew Holness this morning because we want to know how much doctors, how much lawyers, how much soldiers, how much police, and how much politicians, how much businessmen are on the sex offenders register. So we come for Andrew Holness and Delroy Chuck this man, because we see the stray dog Enka, you know. We see the gangster them from Spanish Town. We remember Cocoa Piece. And me soon gather mother gather. For another Cocoa Piece gathering in. Stray dog. Me soon stray dog. Yes, me soon. Meat bone drop floor. Stray dogs. Me soon. Election a come. Stray dogs. Me soon. I hate me come this morning. Cause me still busy, you know. Me still busy, but me come see the stray dog them come out this morning. Come out from the Spanish Town disaster. And it lead me to believe, because we still have to we're going to go to them. But I've asked the question here on Global TV before. British judges tend to be in the pedophile circle. Therefore, British judges, when dealing with cases of pedophilia, they normally give a slap on the wrist. I have asked this question before. Are our judges in Jamaica sympathetic to pedophiles? Because judges and courts have a lot to do with this little girl death. We will get there. We will get there. I don't know why our system normally feels all right to bail these type of heinous criminal, but you can deprive people of their liberty who merely just threaten the police. Not that threatening someone isn't a crime or it doesn't constitute a crime. But does that warrant someone losing their liberty in a way where we have people who have committed murder in Russian is it Patterson's case? In this present case, we are seeing in firearm cases where those people, Professor Chent, morning, how you do? Where those people are given bail. But we see our judges go harder per issue where you and I would look at lighter. All right, let's go to the bread, the Buster Minister. You all caught us with bun already, you know. You remember the green bun? You remember the green bun, don't you? Now here we have the minister buying vote with bread. Bread, justice minister. Minister of justice with one bread. Light, action, camera, turn around and pose with the bread for the minister. What a disgraceful government. Even a bloody bread. I mean, we see the entire ribbon pan, take one piece of iron in a dot. An entire ribbon and what's it pan it. We see the entire ribbon pan house. We see the entire ribbon pan Black River Police Station 5 times since them refurbish it and reset them and reopen. This ribbon tying, ribbon cutting, pomp and circumstance government. Because if you have done something, Debbie, how you do? If you, Andrew Holness, have done something, one, you would now walk and use camera props to fool the people. Two, you should be ashamed of yourself after 9 years to be coming with promises. You are to be campaigning on your track record and your progress and your achievement. after 9 years. And you still come back with the promises and the camera props. Food. Buster government. Food government. Rambo, good morning. Food. Bread. And camera. Light action camera. Pose with the bread. The politics of our country has reached a disgraceful low. When a government think that doing something, giving away a bread, when the Minister of Justice, the pedophile Minister of Justice, who failed to publish the sex offenders register, who is of the view that if a woman is being sexually abused, and she can't come forward in 6 or 12 months, she must get on with it, move on, forget about it. This same justice minister have pedophile and child murderers on the loose in our country. And we see the stray dog them now, enka. Let's look at the Spanish Town scenario, and then we will come back to Andrew Holness and Delroy Chuck, and why might be that these people will not or don't want to release the sex offenders register. Twice in our history, the Jamaica Labour Party have held the legislative wheel in our country undisturbed. The last term of Eddie Seaga's government, uncontested by Michael Manley, Seaga and the Jamaica Labour Party controlled the House and the Senate. Not a meaningful legislative change was made under that legislative power that they wield then. This Andrew Holness-led government has, since 2020, been given the wield of the legislative power. You've seen how he has used it to destroy the office of the political ombudsman, to entrench Paula Llewellyn, to stay on entrenched in corruption, and many other things. Even ones the court pushed back on, such as the Portmore debacle and all of that. No meaningful legislative change. We've seen how he tried to raid his way through our constitution. Only that the voting power doesn't allow him to do it single-handedly as he would have in some of his legislation he has advanced since 2020. As I said, let's look at the situation in Spanish Town, and then we'll come back to Andrew Holness and Delroy Chuck.
At 50C Job Lane in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, as family, friends, and residents try to come to terms with the tragic death of 9-year-old Kelsey Ferrigan.
The whole community agreed to that.
It was here that she was last seen alive on Friday with her younger sibling. Now, several hours later, her body would have been found stuffed in a barrel. The residents are alleging that she was sexually assaulted. The suspect, a known sex offender, and a family friend in this close-knit residence.
He is Giovanni Ellis, otherwise
Mandela Chent. Mandela Chent. No, Mandela Chent. Yes, not. Professor Chent. You notice I don't call you Strength. Professor Chent. Professor Chent, you are a taxpayer, aren't you? Us, the public, Professor Chent, pay for the Jamaica Information Service. Professor Chent. Professor Chent, and I go rub your heart this morning, you know, but I go talk, Professor Chent, because you say something and I go talk, Professor Chent. We pay for JIS. I don't know if you're aware of that. We also pay for PBCJ. So it is for the Prime Minister, Professor Chent. You already pay for the government to tell you his achievement. But while Professor Chent, you're asking me to talk about the government's achievement, what I want you to do, Professor Chent, is go on the office of the Prime Minister and look on the Prime Minister website what the Prime Minister lists as his achievement. Go to Rhoda Crawford's website. Look what they list, Professor Chent, as their achievement. I'm not going to search, Professor Chent, for a needle in a haystack, or search for a grain of sand amongst the beach, Professor Chent. We have paid for 2 propaganda arms of your government to tell us his achievement. Cliff has owed us our tax money and is working it off. They can do their propaganda over there. You have the Observer, where Mattis Amuda wife writes and controls the narrative. Why me? Why me, Professor Chent? When me left all of what me I do, drop it, put on, and I come look after the business of the people. And you tell me, Professor Chent, I must go there and talk about Andrew Owner's achievement with only labor rights. Spellbread, Professor Chent. A long time me ask. Or one thing I have asked Professor Chent, because I haven't seen it and I don't know if the Prime Minister will achieve it before. I mean, the Prime Minister 100-day promise. You would want to more go around and tell us why the Prime Minister failed to implement that. I don't care about PNP or JLP achievement. This is not what journalism does. You are mistaking me. I'm a journalist, an independent freelance journalist. I'm not a political vlogger or I'm a political surrogate. My job, Professor Chent, is to hold the government of the day to account, Professor Chent. Account, that is the word, Professor Chent. And in holding the government to account, Professor Chent, I cannot use the government's achievement to hold them to account, Professor Chent, because what I'll be doing by then, Professor Chent, I will be a government NIMBY. I would be a government wuss, woolly and wallering with the government. My job as journalist is to call out the government and crime and corruption. My job is to call out the government and its failure. Government is what we hold to account, not opposition. We don't play the anti-antics politics. Government. That's what we hold to account. When Mark Golding comes to power after the general election, which he surely will, if I'm not holding Mark Golding to account, then you can criticize me for not holding the People's National Party-led government to account. But, for now, the government, the Jamaica Labour Party, is what we hold to account. And when you hold government to account, Professor Chent, you have hold government to account and their lacking and their failures and their do not and all that. All right? We don't say I bust the right, but hope you get it. All right, let's get back to Spanish Town.
There was not a dry eye in sight at 50C Job Lane in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, as family, friends, and residents tried to come to terms with the tragic death of 9-year-old Kelsey Ferrigan.
The whole community agree with each other.
It was here that she was last seen alive on Friday with her younger sibling. Now, several hours later, her body would have been found stuffed in a barrel. The residents are alleging that she was sexually assaulted. The suspect, a known sex offender, and a family friend in this close-knit residence.
He is Giovanni Ellis.
Professor Chen, strawberry and grape, you can't go on.
Known as Cooliman. And we are inviting him to turn himself in no later than 5 p.m. today.
According to head of the Area 5 Police, Assistant Commissioner Christopher Phillips, Giovanni Ellis was recently released on bail for an assault case involving a child.
He was out on bail. About 10 days ago, he was released.
TVJ News understands that Ellis does not live on Job Lane and was only staying there with family since being out on bail. And our news team also learned that this...
Let me answer that word, infiltrating. You can't infiltrate people with the truth. You infiltrate people with lies and propaganda, all right?
wasn't his first offense either. He was arrested and charged in 2013 for the sexual assault of a female relative.
She was 12 years old at the time.
Was how old?
12. When she got raped by him. He knocked her out with a post order. We went to court and him get 3-year sentence. We never expect him to come out back and continue doing these things.
And although his family was forgiving then, this time around, they've publicly banished him. While acknowledging the role that the suspect's family has played in assisting the police so far, Member of Parliament Olivia Grange is appealing to residents to allow the security forces to do its job.
Jungle justice never solves a problem. I understand how they feel, I understand the emotion, I understand the anger, because I'm angry. But the law should take its course.
Jamila Maitland, TVJ News.
If a person having been convicted of a sexual offense and has been given a fixed term and has served it and is now back in the community, would it not be a second sentence if the public at large could be saying that's a sex offender? So in other words, what would be wrong in allowing only prescribed persons such as the police, probation officers, and others to know that this person has has served a sentence for a sex offense? Now, it may well be that if in a democracy, people feel that if you have committed a particular offense, you should suffer the scrutiny for the rest of your life.
You heard the Justice Minister, didn't you? The Justice Minister said, in law, what you have is called a balance of proportionality. How the balance of proportionality works, you look at the right of the accuser, as Delroy Chuck was looking at, that you're subjecting the person to almost what is a double jeopardy because they have gone through the legal process of punishment. And if you hereby publish the register, you're putting them to another public prosecution and punishment again. Now, the balance of proportionality in balancing that is you look at the safety of the public, more so vulnerable children. You assess the risk, the potential of risk to vulnerable children from such a person. In this case of Cooley, which is not the first, he has been given a slap on the wrist by our justice system, which tend to follow the Westminster line of giving pedophilias a slap on the wrist, because it does happen here in the United Kingdom as well. And hearing the Minister of Justice striking a balance of proportionality without taking in consideration the safety rather, and the welfare of our children labor rights, cannot go on like no happy in no labor rights. Wait until it's one of your children or one of your family children that this government failed to protect, because this young man, if the government never failed to protect this child wouldn't have been murdered. This young man has shown the signs more than once what he is capable of doing. You all turn a blind eye. He has just committed a recent offense when upon bail for, which he should not have been on bail for, given the severity of the incident he went to prison for 3 years ago, which where he spent 3 years in prison for, which wasn't even enough, given what we are told. You see how your government and your justice ministry has failed to protect our children. Labor right can't come and talk bim bam and the other. This is not about politics. Because if PNP fails to protect what picking is the same thing. It's about our children. It is about the safety of our children labor right, not about playing politics. He got 5 years, served 3, and come out. Why he never got to prison for attempted murder as well as the sexual assault? Isn't this a justice system that is protecting pedophilia, which leads to ask the question, who or what is this government protecting? Because it's certainly not our children. Because they have just let out, or justice system has just let out a heinous murderer. But you notice, it doesn't move the psyche of the Jamaican people. How could it? Look at Guyana. Look at how disturbing it was for the people of Grenada to see what had happened. Because it's not a usual or normal thing for them. For us, it has been ingrained in our psyche. Our children, or young girls in particular, go missing so often. It become normalized now. Look at how the people of Guyana psyche were shocked. That they move immediately into action. Us, in a season, out of season, we have become, how you put the word there now? I don't even know how to phrase this thing. I know it in my head, but I don't know how to talk it out of my mouth. But we have become seasoned to, like the crime and all of them, something that around with is normal. And not knowing, say, these are things, many of them, the government is saying to us what Delroy Chuck is saying. It is better to have a murdered and raped child rather than you knowing that a dangerous predator is living next door to your children. That is what the Justice Minister is saying. The Justice Minister is saying, I'm more comfortable taking the risk of placing that person next to your child. But as long as only me, the police officers, the probation officers, and so on and so forth knows about it, that's all that needs to know about it. immune. We have been immune or become toxic. Leadership. Leadership is our biggest problem. Leadership is our biggest problem. And this is why they can come and they can hand us bread. They can come and hand us green bun. They can do nothing for 9 years. And then in the last year, they just rock up and dig out everything from under your foot. We can barely find place to turn up. Now let us look at the Prime Minister. Doggy look bone.
As you may know, I was born and I grew up in Spanish Town, and I used to traverse all these areas, so I know the community very well and our very well. There are certain crimes that are an assault on the sensibilities of the people. The people in this community certainly would not countenance this. And based upon your report that there is incredible restraint, I think we should commend the community for supporting the police, acting with restraint, and putting their faith and trust in the police that the police will resolve this issue. That's very important. Nobody should try to take matters into their own hands. But this is a sign of the emerging credibility of the police force. It's very important that communities will say justice will be done. The police have the necessary skills and competence, and the place of trust and faith in our security forces and our justice system to bring the perpetrator to justice.
No, let me even stop you there, Prime Minister, because I see you're turning this issue into, I don't know if that's the intention of yours, but that's how it sounds to me. You know, fool me. It looked like you're trying to tell us something of how good the police are. I don't know what you're saying, but those is so. This is not a policing issue, Prime Minister. Prime Minister, this is a leadership issue. This goes to the heart of government, Prime Minister. This goes to the Justice Secretary, Prime Minister. So don't bring the police mumbo jumbo in a hit. Forget little props out. Your crime is down, trending down and coming down to the point where the year just start, but you know, say less than 1,000 people are going to murder. Prime Minister says less than 1,000 people are going to get murdered this year. All right, turn aside. This Prime Minister, we don't want you to call up about police in this year. This not nothing to do with police. We not blame the police them for nothing in this year, Prime Minister. Because this man would have more likely to be bailed by a court rather than a police. So now call police. This not nothing to do with police. We're not talking about the probe, we're not talking about this. We're talking about the failure of government, Prime Minister, to publish the sex offenders register that have dangerous pedophile like Cooleyman trotting around next to children, unsupervised, Prime Minister, unaware of Justice Secretary, and see what we have now. Because Delroy Chuck said, I prefer a child raped and murdered than you, the community, know that Cooley is a dangerous pedophile.
As you may know, I was born and I grew up in Spanish Town, and I used to traverse all these areas, so I know the community very well and our community very well.
there are certain crimes that are an assault on the sensibilities of the people. The people in this community certainly would not countenance this. And based upon your report that there is incredible restraint, I think we should commend the community for supporting the police, acting with restraint, and putting their faith and trust in the police that the police will resolve this issue. That's very important. Nobody should try to take matters into their own hands. But this is a sign of the emerging credibility of the police force. It is very important that communities will say justice will be done. The police have the necessary skills and competence, and it is of trust in our security forces and our justice system. Bring the perpetrator to justice. And once this recovers, the mode by which these issues are resolved, Jamaica is well on its way to being a law-abiding country. So once the citizens realize that the security forces are working,
law-abiding Prime Minister goes for the government as well. Prime Minister, the government is not above the law. It is what the rule of law says. All of us, Prime Minister, are subject to the rule of law. Therefore, Prime Minister, you and your Justice Secretary will need to publish the sex offenders register because it's what the majority of the Jamaican people requires. Only honor who have something to hide and by extension have something to fear don't want the sex offenders registered published. You know, one of the politicians will have the 14-year-old ring. What is this government protecting? Why is this government failing to protect our children? Why is this government putting criminals above our children? I mean, the murderers out there who wield their guns, Prime Minister, that you give the order to shoot first ask, question answer, judge or make, Van Back or Checha, are as dangerous as people like Cooliman and others, Prime Minister. Is there two different type of crime, two different response in the one Jamaica? I don't hear you talk about judge or maker in this, but if it was like a shooting crime scene, Prime Minister, you normally jump out with the judge or maker argument. But this is not the judge or maker issue or the criminal. Because here, Prime Minister, as it popping on my head here, labor rights. We don't know, so this government and Jamaican for Justice are rolling in the same boat here now. As come to you all philosophy. Because UNO is off the view because Jamaicans for Justice are calling for body worn camera. You all are off the view that Jamaican for Justice is protecting gunmen. Isn't it then that this government has borrowed a paddle and gone into the same boat paddling with Jamaicans for Justice? Because if in that case Jamaicans for Justice is protecting gunmen, then isn't this government who is pushing back on publishing the sex offenders register, aren't they sailing in the same boat of protecting pedophiles and predators and murderers by extension in this current case we have and others which we are aware of? Labor rights. We don't have children. Labor rights. When something like this happens, can you go into a mental status where you think it's your children or your sisters? Can you imagine that feeling? Don't come out here and make it look like everything is politics, or that every time we criticize this failing government, we must find something equal to say about the People's National Party. Why don't you create a channel and go and talk about what the People's National Party did in 18 years? I am not living in the past, you see. We are being told in our education system of three timing: the past, the present, and the future. I only observe one timing: the now. The now. If I sit down for this whole hour and I try to contrast and compare and said one orange here, one mango over there, then I put an apple here and I put a banana over there. You see why we are a country in a stagnant mindset, because we're always debating the past without solution. My job as a journalist is to provide solution for the current issues. That's why it's called current affairs. You get it now, labor rights? Current affairs. Current PUD of Jamaica. Good. Pin that comment for me, moderators. I'm starting an independent party to return to Jamaica with solution for everyday issues. Moderators, pin PUD. Is it IPUD? But let me tell you something, my people. Me nah go back in the past. What happened under PNP and PJ Patterson and Portia Simpson is not affecting me now. It affected me then. Did I have the voice to speak about it then? No. You have to queue up to call Barbara Gluden, Mr. Perkins, Marlon Malahoo Fort, Ronnie Twaits, blue, 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 and all that jazz. Now we have our own independent voices, thanks to social media, #new media. We can do real journalism, not journalism behind just a camera lens, but journalism from the community, where you get the real story and the reality from the community, as opposed to what RGR and JBC would want you to know. I tell you, say, we know float in an analog boat, big back TV, black and white TV, when I slap the top, forget the reception. I just don't still there. I'm in an AI era. Where you don't even have to write and search for things anymore. You just ask AI one simple question and then give you a whole ton load of galang stuff to read. And still would I want me if it turn dunce and go sit down about 18 years, and focusing on Andrew Holness leadership. It is what holding a government to account means. I'm holding Andrew Holness to account. If you want me to hold Mark Golden and the PNP to account, you've got to tell the Prime Minister, hurry up, call the general election so the people can get rid of you, so we can get to start tear off Mark Golden's flesh. But for now, it's Andrew Holness that we have been given the reins of power. It's Andrew Holness, the big decision maker. It's Andrew Holness, the string of the conscious purse. Who do you want me to speak to about any failure lock thereof that emerges in our government? Labor rights may not have the time. If uno can wait till Mark Golden come to power, and I'll criticize Mark Golden for his failure or lies or failed promises in leadership, then tough. You've got to wait until he comes to power. I cannot hold the opposition to account. I can criticize the opposition for certain things. But when there's a government that failure after failure after failure after failure of the corruption of the corruption of the corruption, nepotism of the nepotism of the nepotism, cronyism of the cronyism of, and they're just popping up like that. Why would I want to waste my precious time on talking about the People's National Party, who is not making any decision that affect anything that I do? Do you think that makes sense? Labor rights. Labor rights! See, let me ask you for spell bread, because certain questions on the ask, say it related to Buster, Steve Graham, Mayor Matts, Anvaz, Bella, and Mayor St. Thomas, and a whole lot of you. Want to stop the compare and contrast and make we find solution for move the country forward. Make we look at how the current issues affect us. We cannot go back to repair 18 years. But what we can do, we can make decisions that will correct those failures that we are talking about. Sit down and mumble about the failure never solves a problem. Problem solving is an active thing. It's not a me, my, I. You have to actually get up and do something. You know, the Bible says, God help those who help themselves. Remember that bit? It means that God doesn't give a toss about you if you doesn't give a toss about yourself. God, they said, help those who help themselves. Do you know how much time more than waste for some every day? Finstack, 18 years, light bulb. No, I'm holding Andrew Holness to account. Andrew Holness can make better decisions. He's just refusing to make them. And that's our problem. And that is the country's problem. The decision made by the current government. This government who allowed crime to escalate for 8-9 years. But this government who is using media narrative and props in the final year wanted its third term to tell we say crime down. And we can't see it. Crime down where? So, let me get to the stray dog part. The henka part. Yes, we know say and Babs come from Spanish Town. From you look pound on see the gangster and the criminality pound. We know that. From we know you. You tell me about the 1 bed, the 2 bed. You don't own up to the goat them will teach you for thief yet though. But yes, we know say you come from Spanish Town. That not said oh. You know, go take this issue, take the family them pain and politicize it. You know, go take the family them pain and politicize it like what me son do with Cocoa Peace. Andrew Holness, please, me know say election. Me know say you want back peace with Spanish Town people for and Babsy kill thick man. Yes, Andrew Holness, me know so no want back grace with Spanish Town, but don't use the people them pain. I'm asking you. Make the people them bury them data in peace. Make the people them grieve in peace, Prime Minister. Because one thing I wouldn't want to see around me right now is politicians. Given that is the same politician who set up the death of my child. Because the same politician who refused to publish the sex offenders register is the same justice minister who is responsible for the court system, will bail twice a convicted sexual offender and awaiting trial again for the same thing. And a court thing to say it was appropriate to let him loose to come out and kill and rape a child. That is failure of leadership. That is failure of leadership. Why is the government blocking the sex offenders register. It's not me saying it. Delroy Chuck says, I prefer a child dying than I announce to the world that
There was not a dry
a pedophile
I understand how they feel. I understand.
is living next to you.
Jamila Maitland, TVJ News.
If a person having been convicted of a sexual offense and has been given a fixed term and has served it and is now back in the community, would it not be a second sentence if the public at large could be said that's a sex offender? So in other words, what would be wrong in allowing only prescribed persons such as the police, probation officers, and others to know that this person has has served a sentence for a sex offense? Now, it may well be that if in a democracy, people feel that if you have committed a particular offense, you should suffer the scrutiny for the rest of your life.
Delroy Chuck said the offender shouldn't have to suffer the scrutiny for the rest of their life. But there is no guarantee from the Minister of Justice that your children can be protected in the same democracy. Kaya Maria Wagwan, my friend. In the same democracy that the Minister of Justice is talking about. This Minister of Justice that says woman should only have 6 to 12 months to come forward and sexual assault. The Minister of Justice in our parliament says a woman, because the Minister of Justice really wants to cut it down to 6 months, but during their committee galangin, it was extended to 12 months. And the Minister of Justice sitting there in Parliament telling women in a chuckle, forget about it. If you cannot come forward in 12 months, said the Minister of Justice, forget about it. Even if you were threatened, even women, if you are in fear, get over it by 12 months, said the Minister of Justice. And if you can't get over it by 12 months, forget about it. Forget about it, said the Minister of Justice. That's the exact thing that he says, Brand Jamaica. Forget about it, said the Minister of Justice. So you women are being given a timeline. From the abuse, you must start count when you must get out of the feeling of fear, paranoia, anxiety, depression, all that comes with such a trauma. Delroy Chuck says, if you cannot cross that in 12 months, forget about it. He never touched you, said the Minister of Justice. It is just something you're conjuring up in your mind. Because if the Minister of Justice is saying that you should forget about it after 12 months, it never happened, isn't it? It is something that you have conjured up. Maybe it's a dream that you thought was real. Now here you have a child murdered and raped by a serial pedophile that the government thinks, even though being a serial pedophile, the public ought not to know because you will be serving a double jeopardy. You'll be serving a double jeopardy. You'll be sentenced by the public again if the public knows. So it's better he kills a child, rape and kills a child, and go back into the system rather than the public knows that that dangerous predator is on the loose. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? These were the same people the other day. You remember Arlene? You remember that Officer Linda who came out and told JFJ that if you cannot promote us, then we're going to deem you as terrorists? The same government who is saying there's nothing much to see from body-worn cameras. The same government is saying, shoot them, then kick them with that boot, throw them in the van back, wrap them in something and throw them in the morgue. No investigations, no questions asked. Why is this government pushing back on publishing the sex offenders register? How many people on the other side of Jamaica? How many people on the other side of Jamaica, those that do the fetics, the upper echelons, the uppers in society, those on the upward mobility ladder, how much of them might be just on that list? Because we know our country, isn't it? Everybody. And if you grew up in the 80s and you push back on this, then you're probably a pedophile as well. Everybody in high society was bedding schoolgirls. Everybody. Everybody. Busman, taximan, police, teacher, lawyer, doctor, politician. Am I lying? Am I lying? Everybody in position of power in our society, when we were going to school in the 80s, everybody target young girl. I have been saying this forever. Jamaica is a society that has normalized pedophile. We are trying to fight and normalize disease amongst us. We have normalized the disease of pedophilia amongst us. Because I remember you adults well, you never called those predators pedophiles or predators. When you always say them little girl you love big man, I remember you. Someone who collect them money. Parents and family members, isn't it? We, the people of Jamaica, we, the people of Jamaica, has normalized this amongst us. And it takes all of us to stamp out these demons from amongst us. Beside the Minister of Justice and the Prime Minister trying to protect them, we, the community, know who they are. We, the wicked community, who turn a blind eye to them, we know they are. We are a part of the problem, are we not? How much of we can say we don't have pedophiles in our family? How much of us can say we never see we bigger man relative, them, uncle, father, brothers, or whatever, with children, and the older we think it normal? We have normalized it. We have normalized it. This cannot stamp out by police only. This is not a police problem in our country. This is a all of us problem in our country. We create it and we normalize it. And we will have to work to stamp it out. Because in the 80s and 90s, It was normal for any big old crusty greyback done out man go pick up a little schoolgirl in their uniform, drive around with them, ride around with them, go to a hotel with them, go to a restaurant with them, go to their family relatives' home with them. We've all seen it. Have we not? Tell me, say I lie, me I tell. When I come out here this morning, come tell me, sir, I lie, me I tell. Are we create it? Are we normalize it? And are we going to have to fight it? Nobody can fight your disease for you. So Jamaica people, don't bother things that come for Andrew Holness and Delroy Chuck this morning, and no come for Uno neither. Because Uno I hide more than what Delroy Chuck and Andrew Holness I hide. Uno in the family and the communities, Uno know them, push them out. No matter what status they have, no matter how upstanding they are, how much wife and children they have, community, Uno know them. Sometimes you all call them the big mans and the dans and bossy and push them out. Jamaica. This is an Andrew Holness and Delroy Chuck problem. This your problem create when me Andrew Holness are picking it. And before that, come here, Andrew Holness that school in the 70s and 90s. So nobody come criticize my good government. Of course, our government has failed when it comes to protecting our children in the publishing of the sexual offenders register. Us, the community, this is our crime. Mothers who, because of poverty, you have hand over your daughters to monsters in order to get benefit of it. This is not something when nobody can jump up in an Andrew Holness face for a few problem, Jamaica. It's our problem. We must push them out. All walks of society, push them out. The community, you know who they are. Family members and friends, you know who they are. Because you know what? Because of how entrenched it is, they're all comfortable doing it in front of us, aren't they? They are all comfortable committing these crimes in broad daylight in front of us because it has become so normalized that we think say something gossip. This is Jamaica's crime. This crime against this young lady is Jamaica's crime. All of us should feel guilty about it. All of us should feel guilty about it. And this is not something that the police alone can fight. This is not something where the police alone can fight. We don't know them too. And that's where I want to leave it here this morning, Jamaica. I don't think me come for Andrew Holness and Delroy Chuck so too. Don't think to say me come for Andrew Holness and Delroy Chuck so too. All I know have a share and part. All of we have a share and part. Because we know a lot of them. They're in our families. They're in our communities. We know them. Thank you. Good morning and good afternoon from Global TV. We have a lot of things to cover today as well. So I'm going to do the usual runabouts now. So thank you and join us back tonight right here for the People's Point of View. If you're new to the Global Television Group and you're not following us or subscribe to us on YouTube or TikTok, please do give us a subscription or a follow now. So when we go live, you certainly will get your notification. Thank you very much for your time spent here this morning. We will catch you on the other side later.
Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it break a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make a man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear now hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rob and cheat, and not first and four. Make up what I seen him. Make a man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan. Make a man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite man, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the day them can sell out Rasta and sell it out and sell out Babylon. They give man show and stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man show and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead can sell out Rasta and sell out and sell out Babylon. Just talk on the right. You must go and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing, you must go and stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one, big man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what's a black big man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Rastaman throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.